When 2017 ended, a lot of people started coming out with these best books of 2017 and worst books of 2017 videos. And I don't know why, but I got really addicted to them, so I ended up just Googling these videos, and I found so many new booktubers. I feel like back when Lindsay and I started this channel in 2013, there was like a set number of people that were doing booktube, and I followed all of them. And then since then, some people have made different types of channels, like branched out. I know like Lindsay and I, we also do like bullet journal videos, and we do writing videos and stuff. But I found that like my newsfeed was mostly just like makeup videos and things that I really wasn't interested in anymore, and I just assumed that like everyone lost interest in booktube. But through these best and worst books of 2017 videos, I found that there's still a huge booktube community, and I'm so excited. I've been watching so many videos, I've been subscribing and commenting, and I feel like I'm part of a community again, and I just can't even tell you how good it feels. So I decided today that I'm gonna come back to booktube, I'm gonna make some videos, and I'm just like ready to go. I'm gonna show you my favorite books that I read in 2017. This first book is right behind me. I feel like nobody talks about this book anymore. And that is Partials by Dan Wells. This was my book club's last book of the month, and I probably wouldn't have read it if it wasn't for that. I'm so glad that our book club decided to read this because it was so good. I will admit the first like 50 pages is a little bit slow, but everything that he does in the beginning sets up for what's gonna happen in the middle and the end, and it's worth it once you get past that. Like, you need to know all the stuff that he sets up, but it is action-packed once you get past that first like 50 to 80 pages. And I could not put it down once I got past that. The whole premise is kind of dystopian. It's like set in the future and like the end of the world, you know, and there's like almost like an alien race that is a threat and stuff. So it's very like dystopian and very apocalyptic feeling. But there's so much like science in it that feels like it could be real. And I love like when a main character is like smart and like clever, and because the main character works with the people that are trying to save the world, essentially, she is very smart and she is very clever. So I definitely appreciated that. It was very refreshing. The next book I don't own, but I'll put a picture right over here. The book is called The Names They Gave Us. I feel like a lot of people read the synopsis on this and they get very like put off because religion is mentioned, and I feel like I've talked to a few people, I've mentioned this book, and they've been like, ooh, I can't read that. And it's not very in your face as far as like, yes, it's mentioned throughout because it is a plot point and it is a main thing for the main character. She's going through a really hard time and she's trying to figure out what she believes in and her faith and all of that. So obviously it is a big part of the book, but it's not like preachy, and it's not like so, it's not like they're trying to make you, I don't know how to put this. There's a very diverse cast, so it's not like I feel like some people hear the word religion and they think like far right, like you're gonna push all your ideals on me and stuff, but this book is like realistic to today, where there's people that have religion that also are not assholes. And I thought that it was done so well. I love all of Emery Lord's books, and I really thought that this was one of her best. On top of that, the relationship that the main character has with her mom was like so on point. Like, it was so good, and again, refreshing, because I feel like a lot of books, they don't have good family relationships in them, but she was very close to her mom, and I bawled at the end of the book. I was crying so hard, and I felt like I was like trying not to because Andrew was in the room, and I was like, he's gonna think I'm so weird. But I won't tell you if they're happy or sad tears, but I was definitely crying at the end of this book. I just fell off my stool. This next book is like new adult / adult genre, and that's The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I think the thing that I liked the most about this was how in the beginning the characters hate each other, and then they learn more about each other, and at the end of the book they have a completely different relationship than they did in the beginning. It kind of reminds me of Pride and Prejudice, but just in an office setting, if that makes sense. I just really, really liked how like the characters hated each other. I know that sounds horrible, but that's like my favorite trope in romance. And one other positive thing I will say about this is there wasn't a lot of sex in it. I know new adult and adult tends like to have all of that. That's like the whole point of the book, and it's like, yes, girls like that. We do like reading about that, but it's like sometimes you want a romance that's about like the emotional connection and about two people like realizing that they like each other. I don't know, like I think there was some of that in here, but it wasn't the whole point of the story. I definitely appreciated that because I feel like new adult, you know, it's become its own genre of like, oh, there's this hot guy and that's all that matters, and it's like, no. And then my last favorite book of 2017, I don't own, I borrowed it from the library, but I'll put it here, and it's called An Ember in the Ashes. When I saw the cover of the book, I was thinking it was gonna be kind of like, if you watch Game of Thrones, The Unsullied, like that kind of like Roman feeling, I don't know. I just remember it not being what I expected going in. I just don't know how to describe it, but it was just not what I expected, but it was still amazing. I think the writing style was good. I think its dual point of view, so that was definitely good. And it was definitely like intriguing and fresh. We hadn't seen this before. And so after I read this book, I actually went on to the second book, which is A Torch Against the Night, and I listened to the audiobook of this. And the person who narrated it or did the reading was so good, and I just remember being really captivated while I was driving, so it felt like my commute was like really short because I was just listening to the story. So if you haven't read these two books, you need to put them on your 2018 TBR because they are phenomenal, and I think the third one comes out soon, possibly, maybe in this year, hopefully. I don't know, because I can't wait much longer. But I really hope that you read this book because I love it. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Let me know what your favorite and least favorite books are of 2017 in the comments, and obviously subscribe and like and all that stuff. Thanks guys, bye.